Well, hello. I'm just here to I I found quite an interesting team that I mean I wouldn't really say it's interesting, but from my experience at least, I decided to go for this team because one, well, I have the characters, and second, I don't have Shilonen. Because the whole purpose of this team really is the fact that I don't have Shilonen, so instead I have Citlali on this team. Why? Well, there's really two reasons. The fact that she holds scroll, and the fact that she... Well, there's three actually. Oh my fuck. Three reasons as to why Citlali is here instead of someone like Sucrose. One, because she holds scroll. Two, because she red shreds both Pyro and Hydro. And third, because she shields. So it would be way more comfortable to have her on their team here rather than having someone like Sucrose. And also because since we have Nahida on the team, she's giving us a lot of EM already. This team has some sort of weird synergy going on because for one part we have Dendro and Pyro to trigger burning so that we can consistently get vaporizes for Mualani. And on the other hand, since she's buffing EM with her burst, we can get an EM buff for Citlali, which would increase the strength of her shield and increase her own personal damage, while also increasing Mabuika's melt a little bit. And it's like, I'm gonna show it to you in a bit, because this team is actually, it's like a group effort because you have three nukes in this team. You have Mualani, you have Citlali, and you have Mabuika. And so this team just generally deals an insane amount of damage. So let me just show it to you real quick. I'm gonna go with my favorite test subject, that being the Dorito, and well, let me show you how this team performs. So we're here outside of the Temple of the Dorito. Now, I want to make something clear, right? I'm not really telling you to go for this team because I know this team is not free to play. It's a full-on premium team that if you have the characters and you want to try some sort of new team for Mualani, I feel like this would be a little fun to do. Now, the rotation is a little weird, but I personally really find it fun to do. So, okay, I just noticed I have no energy. Okay, so the rotation, the way you go about this rotation is a little weird. And honestly, this team performs better when you're fighting against a boss. Because if you're fighting mobs, they're most likely just gonna die from the first two bursts from like Citlali and Mavuika. So by the time you get to Molani, there you are forced to like start the new rotation because since you will not have a Dendro applied, your Citlali will be stealing the Pyro Aura, which is kind of like why this team isn't really all that good outside of bosses. So let me show you rotation, right? You obviously start with Malani, since you do this next. Oh my fucking god, this guy just went into hide. Okay. Well, you kinda get it, right? How this rotation works. Let me just get my burst again. Let me get my burst. This guy just took it from me. Okay, there we go. So this guy just messed up my whole rotation, like going into hiding. But you kinda see, right? By the time I was gonna go into Mualani, the boss was half dead. So that just kinda shows you how powerful this team is. So now, okay, now hopefully, if the enemy doesn't decide to go into hiding, now let me show you the proper rotation. So here we go. And boom, just like that. The boss is dead. So yeah, this team is actually really fucking good and also very fun to play. This is the team that I found myself having the most fun while playing Molani, because the team that I used to play before was what I was about to say Citlali again. The previous team I used to play, Mualani, was Mualani, Farina, Jean, and Xiangling. And now that team is not bad, but the problem with the Farina team on Mualani is, well, the fact that it is very inconsistent because Xiangling does apply a lot of pyro, but sometimes I don't know how, but the Hydro Aura is just too strong to overtake for Xiangling. I feel like the only instances in which, okay, let me, the only instances in which the Pyro Aura doesn't get overtaken by Hydro is when Wova is out, because you have two sources of Pyro. So for Shang Ling's damage, own personal damage, I mean, I wouldn't say it's that much better because you don't have Bennett, so you don't get an attack buff. And without Bennett, she isn't really dealing that much damage on her own. But I mean, that's not the point. Just let me show you, right, the difference in performance. You saw the team that I'm here to talk about, which is this team that I have on, Molani, Yanahira, Citlali, and Mabuika. Now, let me show you the previous team that I used to play. This team right here. So, let me show you, right, how this team performs. Oh, I just noticed something. My Shengli doesn't have energy. Okay, this is gonna be really quick. It doesn't matter. Since I have this, Jean. Please, Jean. Oh my god. Wait, how much crit does she have? 43! How is she not triggering? How is she not triggering Favonius, bro? Come on. There we go. Okay, now we have the energy. Now let me go and actually test. I'm gonna show you just what the difference in these two teams are, because this is the team that I feel like most people would be able to build. And well, if you don't have Shilonen just like me, these are like the two best options. This one being the more relatable one because you only have two limited 5 stars and one standard banner character and one 4-star you get for free at the beginning of the game. So let me show you like how. So there we go. Now, I know that right there the team didn't really look that inconsistent, but believe me, that was like I got very lucky there. I don't know what happened or how it happened, but I got really lucky because what happens normally is that Farina ends up applying too much Hydro, so much so that well Shanglin just becomes unable to really overtake the Hydrora. And the moment she does, you kind of end up applying Hydra again with Mualani's attack. So you lose the Vaporize and you lose a lot of damage because the whole point of this team is to boost Mualani's damage so that she vaporizes. I mean by vaporizing. And also the other problem is the fact that, well, since she's the only Pyro character on the team and she has already an insane amount of energy needs, most of the time you are not gonna get her burst back on cooldown. Unless the whole team is on Pavonius, which, well, fair enough, right? But my Farina is on the Flip Stand Repairman, and my Shangling has 208 ER. So I feel like you can definitely alleviate the energy needs of, well, of Shangling by just running a full Pavonius team. Which I mean, it's pretty much what I'm doing already, just that she's not on Favonius. But like, yeah, these are like the two best team options that you can make for Mualani if you don't have Shilonen, of course. But I feel like for most people that won't be the case very soon, right? Because Shilon is getting a rerun in the second half of this update. But yeah, if you end up losing the 50-50, unfortunately, I mean I don't want that to happen, of course, because I'm also pulling for Shilonen. Since the reason I didn't get Shilonen was because, well, I was saving for Citlali, and this is something that really pisses me off, is the fact that they released two new characters on the same half. Now, you are maybe looking at my account right now, right? And saying, okay, but you have both characters. And believe me when I tell this, I did not spend a single dime on getting these two characters. Now, I'm not gonna go and claim that I'm free to play because I'm not, since, well, the only things that I have spent money on this game are Welkin and Battle Pass, and that's pretty much it. I have never top up. Uh, and well, you can see here, I have this Battle Pass weapon. I also have this spear, which I got for Xiao because he barely has any free-to-play options, and even that is not really that good of an option. But yeah, I'm not, uh, I'm not really a whale. I don't really spend money, and I guess this kind of this just speaks volumes, right? I mean, check this, just check this shit out, bro. I have the entirety of of Sumeru 100% explored, including the desert. I mean, if this doesn't speak volumes about the fact that I don't spend money on this game, I don't know what else does. Because who in the right mind would 100% the entirety of Sumeru, including the desert, if not to get Primogens, right? And well, that's pretty much what I did. I had a guaranteed for Citlali and some BD built in already, so it made it easier for me to get her because pretty much all I had to do is throw in a 10 pull and I got Citlali. So the other thing was getting my Wicca. And well, since I had pretty much the rest of Natlan to explore, what I did was just that. I explored the entirety of Natlan, I got enough for my Wicca, and I got my ass saved by the capturing Radiance because I was about to lose for the fourth time in a row. Well, I'm getting kind of out of topic here. I was just kind of ranting because I really hate the fact that they did a double banner. I wish they don't do that ever again. Like, hopefully they don't do that ever again, bro. Because that, I don't know what went through their minds when they did that. But yeah, I mean, this kind of a short video because I don't know. I kind of already showed the teams. I guess the last thing that I could do is kind of try doing it in the Abyss, but honestly, I did the Abyss yesterday. This Abyss is kind of a headache. Now, this team surprisingly performs really well for well, at least the first two chambers of the Abyss of the 12th floor. But at the third one against the Pyrocrab, it just falls apart horribly because well, your only Hydro character is Mualani. She doesn't really apply that much Hydro, even though she's a catalyst, and you don't really deal that much damage when the crab has its pyro armor on. And yeah, it's just a mess. I tried beating it with this team. Honestly, for your own sanity, don't try that. Don't. That was just awful. But yeah, I mean, this was a short video. Then again, I'm repeating myself, but I hope you liked it. This was kind of just to show because I had this idea in mind for a video for a while now, and I kind of just wanted to get it out of the way. Well, so you're kind of showcasing the fact that a team like this can work, and it is very strong and very fun as well. Because most of the times it's like you kind of end up playing the same teams that everyone says are the best. But when you try something weird, it ends up feeling fun, and sometimes it can be surprisingly really good, right? Because there was one occasion in the theater, and I guess the theater is kind of the place where you get to experience with a lot of team comps, because you have to make do with what you have while also trying to save the best characters for the end. Now, of course, I'm not gonna glaze the theater because I personally don't think it's that good, but I feel, oh, I feel like one of the few things that make the theater good is the fact that it makes you think like out of the box with some teams, because I remember one team that I found myself having a lot of fun playing. It was Chlorinde, Dendro Traveler, Dea, and Cincio. That team, honestly, it sounds like a mess, and it is a mess, but it really is fun. Now I would showcase it, I would show it to you, but well, I don't have her on this account. I have two accounts, and well, I have Chlorinde on my other account. And well, the whole point of this video was to show you the Mualani team. And I feel like I'm yapping way too much already. And well, I don't want to waste more of your time. So I guess this is where I'm gonna end the video. It is really short, then again, but the whole point of this video was to just kind of show how this team performs.